The boss of the Haas racing team, Günther Steiner, said he wants to wait until summer vacation to decide who will drive for them in 2023. But the American team has decided to wait even longer because they want to take their time. So Mick Schumacher won't get an answer right away, which leaves the German driver not knowing what will happen. This is all part of the craziest Formula One driver switching season in years. Why is Haas in this mess, and what did Günther Steiner say about Mick Schumacher? You'll find out in this video. Stay until the end to get all the latest news about the Schumacher kid. First, let us know in the comments what you think about Mick Schumacher's time in F1 so far. Has he done as well as you expected, or should he have done better? So, Mick Schumacher's second half of the Formula One season in 2022 is probably going to be really hard. The 23-year-old will likely have to fight for his future to race at the top level of car racing. With 9 races left, Mick Schumacher won't get a new contract during summer break, according to news reports. It looks like the Haas team has chosen to wait on talks. After Sebastian Vettel said he was leaving, the Aston Martin team became a good option for the young German driver. However, Mick Schumacher's hopes were crushed and he lost his power to negotiate with Haas when they announced that Fernando Alonso would be joining the British team in 2023, knowing that this is now the only way for the German to make sure he has a spot on the grid for next year. The Haas team can now take their time. Even though not every seat has been given out, it's pretty clear that drivers like Guan Yu Zhou will keep their seats. What will happen at Alpine after all the drama around Oscar Piastri is also unknown for now. So, when the season starts again, the pressure on the German drivers should go up a lot. The American team has a contract for several years with his teammate Kevin Magnussen. In the competition between teammates, Magnussen is clearly winning with 22 points compared to Schumacher's 12 in the Drivers' Championship. The German driver has had trouble in the last 2 races in France and Hungary after doing better at Silverstone and Spielberg, the only 2 races where he scored points. If Haas says no to Mick Schumacher for 2023, it might be the first F1 season since 1981 without a full-time German driver. Besides this, it would be sad for the Schumacher name in Formula One racing. As we all know, Mick is closely connected to the Ferrari brand, and this has helped him before. But Günther Steiner is free to make decisions without having to wait for Ferrari to decide what to do with Mick Schumacher. The Haas team manager doesn't want to talk about the German's contract renewal, though. Schumacher was paired with Haas in 2021 because they used the Ferrari engine, and he has close ties to the Ferrari team. However, Steiner will talk with team owner Gene Haas about Schumacher's contract. Steiner wouldn't be in a hurry to finish his deal, according to a report from the German RTL. Only in Monza would the first talks happen. We don't have to wait to see what Ferrari says. We never decide the driver before summer break, and we will not do so this year. Obviously, I will start to speak with Gene over the summer break, Steiner said. The team manager says that Schumacher will find out what will happen at the end of September or in October. Even though Schumacher is part of the Ferrari Driver Academy, Steiner and Haas are still in charge of picking the drivers who will drive for them. I don't want to speak about our Ferrari deal because otherwise they get upset, jokes the team boss. At the end of the day, I don't know the real deal between Ferrari and Mick, and I don't need to know. If he decides to go somewhere else, I cannot change it. Even though Mick Schumacher earned his first points of the year just before summer break, rumors continue that his Haas race seat is in danger. Also, Ferrari might not be on his side either, according to reports. Haas has an agreement with the Scuderia where they are required to have one of Ferrari's junior drivers. Schumacher has been the youngster for the past 2 years, but current reports in the media say he is fighting to save his spot after Haas stopped talks with the driver. However, unlike the previous 2 years when Schumacher could count on Ferrari's help, reports say that the 23-year-old is no longer the team manager's favorite driver. Ferrari boss Mattia Binotto is not fully convinced by Schumi Jr., has been claimed in the German media. And now, because of Mick Schumacher's lack of contract for 2023, his future in Formula One seems to be a little unclear, and he might have even lost some of the support he had from Ferrari. Schumacher was supposed to replace Sebastian Vettel at the Aston Martin F1 team, but the unexpected arrival of two-time world champion Fernando Alonso has put an end to that plan. Schumacher's best hope of staying in Formula One will probably be if the Haas F1 team decides to keep him for the upcoming season, but even that seems to have hit a roadblock. Many people would be shocked if Haas did not offer the current driver a contract. Since earning his first ever Formula One point at the British Grand Prix, Schumacher has improved a lot. He followed this up with his best ever championship finish, a P6 at the Austrian Grand Prix. Since then, the 23-year-old hasn't placed in the top 10 in the team's latest. Upgrades aren't doing anything to help the VF22 perform any better. The son of Michael Schumacher is still a member of the Ferrari Drivers Academy and serves as a backup driver for Scuderia Ferrari despite various rumors that he would leave. Since it is unlikely that Ferrari will release either Charles Leclerc or Carlos Sainz, a move to Ferrari doesn't appear to be possible until 2025 at the earliest. According to rumors, Mattia Binotto is no longer convinced about the German's future considering his performance, and there is talk that he may be kicked out of Ferrari's driver academy. Then he may leave the Ferrari program and join the development teams of Mercedes or even Red Bull if they are willing to let the young Schumacher in. But for this to happen, they would have to have an open seat for him. Red Bull's advisor Helmut Marko even said that they haven't been looking at Mick Schumacher yet, but he did reveal that he is impressed by the experience Mick is gaining. He has improved compared to last year, Red Bull's top Austrian official, Dr. Helmut Marko said. But he was always in the Ferrari program, so I never had him on my radar. Would he even fit in at Red Bull, as they have yet to confirm whether Yuki Tsunoda would be back for what would be his third season with the team in 2023? Such a move might keep Schumacher in Formula One with Red Bull's sister team AlphaTauri? Even though the organization has Pierre Gasly under contract through next year, there is still the feeling that he isn't really committed to staying with the team into 2023. Everybody knows how little under contract means these days. You'd be foolish not to place that right on par with the promises of a career politician running for another term in office. After this year's silly season, which wasn't just in Formula One, even though Daniel Ricciardo and McLaren agreed to remain partners through 2023, Oscar Piastri, an Alpine reserve driver, has reportedly taken Ricciardo's place after denying Alpine's press release that he will be driving for the team in 2023, since Sergio Perez recently extended his contract through 2024 and the reigning world champion, Max Verstappen, recently extended his deal through 2028. A Red Bull seat is no longer an option for at least a few more years. However, Gasly is still reportedly interested in competing in a faster car, and the Alpine seat has been mentioned as a possibility. However, AlphaTauri should definitely be considered as one of the top landing places, if not the top landing spot for Schumacher in 2020, regardless of whether Gasly is really tied in for another year. Red Bull would have the chance to see whether he is ready for a promotion to the top team with a 2-year contract there. It is also interesting to note that, like Michael did for Vettel, Vettel has long been a mentor to the young Schumacher. Even before Aston Martin hired Alonso, Vettel encouraged Schumacher to take over his position at the British team. Is a transfer to the Red Bull team, where Vettel won 4 straight world championships, now a possibility? Who knows? So if that doesn't happen, what does Mercedes' driver program have left? They might have a seat in one of their junior programs if Williams decide to replace someone in the team. So the German driver could join the British racing team if Williams' team principal decides to replace Nicolas Latifi and look for a new partner for Alex Albon. In addition, Alpine is unknown who will join Esteban Ocon for the 2023 season, so he may have a shot with the French racing team. All these chances, however, are just ideas, and Haas is now Mick's only reliable choice for a seat in the race for the upcoming season. How do you feel about Mick Schumacher's situation? Do you think the Haas contract should be renewed, or should they remove him if he doesn't improve? Please leave your feedback in the comment section below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to stay up to date with our content.